So Ethan,
All right, so
for today,
Brought to you by the
what
letter
talking about?
P.
Um, just kind of like I think just something that particularly pertains to like people our age because like you're being out and about in the real world, and even if you're not doing shit, just doing little things on the daily and like doing things that come up, and you're like, okay, well, I thought I could do this when I really got to do this, and that. And you also like you do other shit, and it gives you a perspective on how other people are in the real world, but it it I'm not saying it's like everyone, but I don't know. I've just come to find out that everyone's just mad nowadays. Like, seems like everyone just fucked up somewhere in their life and they're like not happy about it. Like, they're working at a fucking Dairy Queen with 3 kids. Like, seems like everyone's just really unhappy nowadays and no one's really, I don't know.
Just
Everyone's just kind of,
plans change.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You like figure other shit and you're like, oh, well, I thought this
Okay,
was
you
how it
want your
should
life
be.
to go one way, but end up turning up into a different way.
It's like literally, you just,
no, but I see. I mean, it's easy to see with people. Everybody's upset with the way their life turned out. Because in high school, you've got this idea of, middle school, high school, you got this idea of, oh, I'm gonna do this whenever I graduate. We didn't even get a chance to graduate before life kicked us in the ass.
Yeah,
COVID happened,
I feel like
and then we graduated.
I feel like that's super, like a super big topic too. Like once you're graduating high school, like so many people either wanted to go to college and then couldn't afford it, or so many people didn't want to go to college and then now they have like a job that they ended up liking and they need a degree in order to like advance in that job, or not even just school wise. Like so many people were like friends with people in high school that thought that they were like ride or dies, and we've all had people like that like the second we had to not hang out with people and choose work and stuff over, and then they start acting,
yep.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Ethan already Ethan already over there,
He's
like,
already got a story lined up.
or even like relationships. Like so many of us were in relationships that we thought were, I mean, friendships or romantic relationships, or some of us moved out earlier than we wanted it to, and some of us, I don't know, just like there's so many times where like I think about that where I'm like, my life, I literally used to think, and y'all know because y'all were there, but I literally used to think like my life was going to be perfect graduating high school. I was like, I got the friends, I got the job, I got this person, I got this
So
going
much
on over
shit.
here, I'm gonna go to this college.
I'm about to plant a tree, house is gonna grow, fucking, we're gonna be all
I
fine
have
and
5 kids with this one guy. We're going to live on a farm in Kentucky.
Does anyone want to start off with
You're in a
story?
home.
I mean, yeah, just like simple shit, like your cut, like whoever, like example, I got a cousin who just like we real cool and shit, but he stayed in that path. Like, not even trying to put people business, I ain't gonna say names or nothing like that, but like just never, like you see at a certain point, people you can just see in someone's face or by their actions and other things, they don't want to take themselves anywhere. They don't want to like do anything. They become content with just sitting around. And so like when you don't want to do that, when you're not trying to like be content, sit around and do whatever the fuck you're doing all day, it's like you're like, oh well, this is pretty fucking lame. What are you doing? Like to do something. Like goddamn, we're fucking damn near in our 20s now. I'm gonna be 30 in
I have
like
no
8
aspirations
years.
whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like I say that because like it's stupid because you just like want to do better for yourself and other things like that. But it makes it kind of hard when people tell you, oh well, like they're good at spinning stories and like fucking making it seem like you're the asshole just because you don't want to go around and fucking be broke with them all day. Like that's crazy to me. That's one thing I've seen quite a few people, not even just like family. I've seen other people do that. Like you said, people from high school. It doesn't really matter who, you see it quite a bit. Just people being content with like where they're at and like not really wanting better and just kind of accepting what the cards they've been dealt. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it firsthand a lot of times. I don't know about y'all. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever
Oh yeah.
like witnessed something like that
I
firsthand.
do a lot of times.
Yeah, I feel like when you were talking, like the part that like really started getting me going was like those people that they basically see what you want to be and the kind of person you're trying to be and all the moves that you're making, and they're not doing shit. And so they will legit, like, they'll hold on to you, not because they're your friend or not because they're on your team or on your side, but because they see you doing good stuff and they just want to kind of like pickpocket out of that. You know what I mean? They kind of want to like nitpick all the good stuff that maybe you're making a certain amount of money, you know, and they're like, oh, well, I can always call up this friend to go out and do this kind of stuff. Or, you know what I mean? Like certain stuff like that, like I had so many friends that like I had a certain lifestyle or a job or a certain mindset. And so many people are like, oh yeah, no, I'm friends with her and I talk to her and da 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 da. And it's like, but you don't actually like me though. You know what I mean? Like Nate, like you like hanging out with me because I have this, and this. But you don't know the first thing about me.
You don't like me. You like my success, type of person.
They're my possessions and the thing I had and things exactly.
Yeah.
No actual attributes, just.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys like those.
I honestly don't know what's worse, that kind of person or the kind of person who sees where you're trying to get at and sees you are making moves to go forward towards that aspect of your life, and they hold you down with something you enjoy.
Like, oh, you shouldn't do that because of this, and this. Yeah.
Or they don't even say that. They make it so that you want to do something else more than actually moving forward in life. They make something more interesting.
Or they actively
keep you held back.
Try to block your progress.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have like a specific? I feel like that was really specific. Do you have something in specific in mind you're talking about, or?
I mean, I used to hang out with this person, and you know, I had my first job. They had already gone through 2 or 3 before I got the job where I was at. They had maybe 6 or 7 jobs before I had 2. And I tried, you know, hey, I want to try this, hey, I want to try that. They were so caught in their ways, and they never said, I don't want you to be better, but they acted that way around me, and it kind of caught to me a little bit. And I had to separate myself from that person, you know? Because in my head, I always saw something wrong with it, and I always tried to tell them, you can't keep quitting a job just because, oh, I don't feel like it, you know? Yeah, right now we're 16, 17, 18, and it's not, you know, no, everybody's going to look at us, oh, they're just kids. But when you're 25, 26, and you have 57 jobs under your belt, I mean, people are going to look at you, and they're not going to want to hire you. And
why the hell have so many jobs?
Yeah, I don't know how somebody gets to that point. Me, 4th job, you know, it is what it is, 20 years old. I mean, and I just want to move forward in life, and they didn't. So I had to walk away from that.
Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like, and this is such a great point to make too. And I feel like a lot of people have people that they're like, oh, I mean, I hang out with this person all the time, and I see this person all the time, so we're friends. But sometimes I feel like everything I want to do, they shut down. But what makes, like, that's not to say that, like, things that you want to do, like people sometimes do the opposite to also have control. Like, there will be things that you want to do, and they'll be like, you'll be like, oh, I want to go to this college, or oh, I want to try to get this kind of job, and they'll be like, maybe you should have more realistic expectations. And I feel like it goes either way. Like, manipulation really can go either way, and I feel like that's why people struggle trying to tell the difference between who's their friend and who's not, because it's 2 very drastic sides of the spectrum, and there is a sweet middle of friends, you know what I mean? Like, there's a sweet middle, but when people go to being like, oh, I don't think that you can do that, maybe you should try this, as a form of manipulating, and then people also trying to do like, oh, well, why don't we go do this, and we'll, or you have the people that feed into certain, like, things that you shouldn't be doing, you know? Like, you have those people that are like, well, let's go 150 down the freeway, and let's go, and you're like, well, I don't really want to do that, and they're like, oh, but it'll be so fun,
Don't be a pussy, man. Come on, dude. Punch it
Yeah.
down the freeway.
Or they'll be like, hey, we're all gonna go hang out and do this. And you're like, oh, but I've got work. And they're like, well, call out of work then. You know, because they know that you want to do certain things. And then the second you try to be good about it and you're like, no, there's things I need to be doing, then they'll flip it and be like, well, if you want to do
Oh, whatever.
yeah, like if you wanna go hang out with us, just come hang out with us and da 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 da. Like, I don't know. I feel like it goes two different ways with that, and I feel like that's what makes it really hard to tell.
And you got the people who try to bring it down, and people try to bring up too much. And you get that sweet like middle spot where it's like, hey, if they support what you do, but if they see that what you're doing is not going to lead you towards your goal, they're going to point you towards somewhere else that will.
I feel
That's
like
the type of
Ethan is such a
friend.
good example of that too. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
No.
Who, me?
yeah, no, because like there were so many times like, and obviously like we've all been friends like through high school and stuff, and I'm not saying people that you're friends in high school won't be friends with you later, but it's definitely not everyone.
Yeah, it's usually not. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually not everyone. We got really, really lucky, and I got really lucky having you guys in high school, and especially Ethan at times, because like Ethan, so many times like I would be doing stupid ass shit, and I would just be talking to all the wrong people, and I'd be going down doing all the wrong things, and like my priorities be out of whack, and then I would come home.
Yep.
I would come home upset about the drama that I engulfed myself in, and then I would call Ethan, and he would be like, Kat, you look really stupid right now. And as much as, like, I hated it, I would be so mad at Ethan. I'm like, Ethan, you don't
You just
understand
click.
this, and this, and
You
this.
just click on me.
Yeah.
All right. Fucking
Like,
go ahead, dog. I'm just telling you the truth.
yeah, I would be like, Ethan, you don't understand, because this person and me, da-da-da-da-da, and Ethan, you don't get it, because it's like this. And he would be like, okay, but you obviously don't get it because you're crying right now and I'm not. So he really would like, yeah, he really would be like that. He'd be like, obviously one of us gets it and only one of us crying. Like, he looked dumb. And then it took me a few tries. It took a few episodes of that before I was like, you know what? Yeah. So
Make a change.
yeah, and I think in order to get the kind of support you want to get from other people, you have to like own up to your shit. Because if you're causing all your own drama, be so for real with yourself. Like, when you're causing your own drama, and you may not realize it, but if you're like, oh, why does this and this keep happening to me over and over and over again? And it's
Well,
yeah, because you won't let go of it. And if you let go of it and you're still not happy, sure. But like, that was something to where I was so sure of myself in certain situations. And then like, I would come home and talk to you guys and y'all would be like, Kat, it really sounds like you're miserable right now. And I'd be like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm
you just have to be there. It's
supposed
not.
to be it like, this is a happy situation. I'm just sad about it right now. And they're like, yeah, but you're always sad about it. So it's really not.
I don't even be happy about it.
Yeah, Ethan just looks at me like I'm dumb. He's just kind of like, okay.
What you're saying doesn't make sense. You're not sad about it, but you're not happy about it right now. What
Yeah.
does that even
You're
mean?
not.
I think I really had to like look. I had to like stop thinking about how I felt about stuff. That was the biggest thing, because everyone's like, oh, but they're my friend. Oh, but this is the job I want. Oh, and people who are at that young adult age have such an emotional tie to stuff, and everything seems like it's the end of the world. And I had to like stop being emotional about it, and I had to like look at it and be like, does this make sense for me? Should I, like, what are the risks associated with me letting go of this person? What are the risks associated with, like, do the risks outweigh the rewards when it comes to leaving this job? Like, and it could be, like, it literally could go either way. I still do that. Where, like, me and Angel will get into a fight, and I'm like, do I make the risk, like, if I make this decision, what do I actually lose? You know what I
If
mean?
it's my fault or
Yeah, like, is it this person? Like, if I let go of this person, am I losing all that much? Like, what am I losing? What am I gaining? Probably gaining more hours of sleep. Probably gaining, like, what am I losing? I'm losing someone who, obviously, I'm not talking about you right now. I'm talking about like
No, I know.
but like I lose someone, do I break up with this person, or do I stop being friends with this person and I'm now not dealing with the majority of the stuff I'm always dealing with? Is that going to make my life easier? Am I going to have more time to focus on school, and am I going to have more time to focus on work? You have to step outside of it emotionally and be like, is it worth it to continue having certain ties? And I felt like that was really hard for me, especially like moving here where I'm at now. And you guys know a lot about that. Just some of the stuff I had to let go of emotionally, because like my biggest thing was probably like I was in this relationship that wasn't good for me, and I moved in with my dad at 15 after I was always living with my mother. And right now when I'm thinking about like, does this situation make sense? Right now I think about it and I think about my mom, you know, because I'm like, I would be so mad at her all the time. And I had to make myself stop being mad at her and be like, okay, she does these things because this, not in a petty way. You can't like be petty about it either. Like, she does these things and she acts this way because of this, and this. And
you gotta try looking at it rationally and everything.
Yes, exactly. And I had to be like, you know what? I accept that's the way she's not, I think she's going about it the right way or the wrong way. I needed to look at the facts and be like, this is why she does it. I don't like that. I can communicate that with her.
Here's what I'm going to do about that.
Yeah, I can communicate that with her. And me and her have an okay relationship now. You know, like me and her talk way more rationally than we ever did before, you know? And so I had to like really look at that and be like, this is why she does these things. Is that wrong of her? No. Does she go about it all the best ways? Also no, you know? And I had to just kind of accept that and accept her flaws as a person and say, you know what? But she is doing these out of good intention. And I have to hold on to that, you know? Because there are people out there who, especially like parents, sometimes parents don't have good intentions. You know what I mean? But I had to like sit back and I had to think about it like, are these intentions good or are they not? Because if they're not, I need to break off from this person. And I broke off from her for like a couple of years too. There were a couple of years.
Like one of the main things I see about that is like what you said about for good intentions and everything is like where the parents have the kids so they can project onto them instead of letting them follow their own path, whereas like they want their kid to live out the parents' future instead of the parents letting the kid live their own future. Because they messed up somewhere in their lives. Now they're trying to see maybe if I try to make the kid not to do the things that I did, well, you know,
Right.
maybe I can see how my life would have been.
Right, yeah.
So they try to project all their dramas like, no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You know, say for instance, say if the parent wanted to be a tubist, I don't know, tuba player, and you know, so they force the kid to take tuba lessons every Tuesday for 2 hours straight. You know,
what happened to you? Or like, what? This is our past experience.
No, I don't know how to play a fucking tuba.
I feel like Kendall, and I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but you have experience in this where a parental figure holds certain beliefs or certain wants for you that maybe you don't follow. You know, do you want to kind of get into that a little bit?
I mean, it's not really all that similar because it doesn't really. It's not like impeding or anything. I can still do things I really want to do because it doesn't stop me from trying to make music or make videos or anything.
It's just kind of like her idea, like her just going like, "Hey," or whoever, like, "Hey, I feel like you should do this," or "I feel like," maybe not like you need to do this, but just like off rip, like, okay, well, you need, maybe you should think about doing this, or maybe you should. And like, maybe you should just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So you never
no
know.
matter what age you are, you should definitely think about the way that if you want something for someone or you want someone to do, you need to like really think about the way that you try to make them do that. Because I feel like parents, it's because, like I said, my mother had so many great intentions, and she really did want, I have to understand from a certain place, she didn't want me to make certain mistakes that she did. She didn't want me to be tied down at a young age. She wanted me to get an education and do things for myself and kind of be able to, like, stand on my own 2 feet. But she overdid it in a lot of ways that were like, no, I don't want you going out. No, I don't. You need to stay at the house all the time. I need to know what you're doing. And it was very, like, I don't want to say helicopter parent because it wasn't that extreme all the time, but, like, it really felt like that, you know? And if you continue to, like, be that kind of parent, or not even just a parent, like, if you're that kind of friend where you're, like, hovering over your friend all the time and nitpicking everything that they're doing, it's like, it's almost like suffocating. And then well, at least I did. I started getting real sneaky about stuff when my mom started, like being that kind of, like, I get sneaky about stuff where I would turn around and be like, okay, well, I know she's gonna check my phone, and I know she's gonna, you know, one time she followed me in her car while I was walking the dogs, like, around the neighborhood, like stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't make it easier, but I feel like if she had a different approach, like a softer approach to being like, listen, I just want to talk to you about this because I don't want you to do this, this, and this, and it's really important to me that you understand that, then maybe it could have all gone a different way. But her approach and how emotional her approach was sometimes made me feel like I was always being watched and, like, suffocated. And then it also made me feel like they didn't trust me at a certain level. And that also, like, no one obviously wants to feel like that in a certain environment and stuff. You know what I mean? And I feel like if people, like, if you handle things emotionally, you're going to have an emotional reaction. And I feel like people forget that a lot. Like, if you're going to handle things emotionally and you're going to come into this screaming and crying, that person is going to start screaming and crying at you back. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes you need to, you know, have a fight.
Let it out.
But then, but most of the time, if when it's something small like that, when it could have been a conversation, you know, like a normal conversation, if you want rational results, you have to go about it rationally. And I feel like people our age forget that a lot, or older than us. I feel like our parents were really emotional when it came to us, and I feel like we went opposite. I'm a very emotional person. Kendall's not emotional at all. He's not.
Okay.
Yeah, your non-response literally just showcased that answer. You're just
Bro,
like,
threw his hands up. Threw a hand up.
We mean not. I'm holding the mic with this hand. I can't really do two-handed.
I wanted to point out, I love the way you grip that like a man. I love the way you have a hold on them. Your big fucking black bear hand.
The man. Okay, buddy. I think the most emotional I've ever seen Kendall is angry at the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anger.
Most because of you in Call of Duty.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Doing all that
this
bullshit.
fucker over here on the left always he be fucking swimming with
Well,
lattes on.
There was that, or the roller coasters at Six Flags. You were so scared you wouldn't move.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
No,
He legit would not.
I don't want to talk about it.
He would like,
I don't want to talk about it.
he would like legit, like Zana had to like go over there and calm him down and be like, "Are you okay? Are you sure?"
Listen, this isn't about me. This isn't about me.
It is kind of it. It kind of is about all of us, though, Kendall. So you kind of forfeit that right.
Yeah, I am kind of curious though. Like, so I would definitely say for me the biggest thing, and Ethan can atone for this, like, absolutely, but the biggest transition I made from being in school to now as a young adult, and it is like the most progress I've made, is going from emotional to rational. And so I'm kind of curious, since we're talking about like how impressions change in this little weird 18 to 20 dynamic, what is the biggest the biggest transition you guys have probably had to make? Like, whether it is like emotionally or like your mindset? Like what's the biggest transition that you guys were like dead set on in high school and now like it just seems like a total 180 that you did?
Say definitely for me. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. If you want to go ahead and go ahead.
I was gonna say, I definitely say in high school. I can definitely say in high school, a lot of my aspirations I had were mostly like me centered. You know, me. I was gonna do this. I was gonna do that. You know, but now ever since I was around, it's like now it's more of a we thing. What can I do that'll change for the both of us? Like, how can I benefit both of us? How can I help her? How can she help me? Like, how can I? How can I make the decision that benefit both of us down the line? That's definitely one of the bigger changes. That's that's between me now and high school. Me like for how long
Well,
was high school?
you were with Zana in high school too. So was it just that you now are trying to build a more solid future and like in foundation that you're thinking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. I think the mindset started to fully come into fruition around junior senior year. You know, high school was starting to wind down. Thank God, and start going out into the real world and everything. I felt that mindsets were that I felt that's when that mindset really started kicking in full gear.
Nice. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Like so many of us
Yeah.
had very, for lack of a better word, like romanticized ideas of some relationships we had in high school. Like, and then, I mean, obviously, like you're still with Zana. You know, you were with Zana in high school, and you're still with her now. And
Yeah.
so, but just your mindset in that one relationship has changed into something like wanting more solid, wanting something that, is more stable and stuff. And I feel like whether you're with the same person or maybe you have to change partners in order to do that, I feel like that's something that's really important as a young adult, when it comes to relationships or just like having a support system, you know? Like I feel like it's something you really need to like dig in deep and think about.
It,
Yeah.
I think the biggest one for me was probably emotional, just because like in high school, even at the start, it just like I don't know, it was weird. It's like, I was a little fuck it. It was weird. I'd just be like always thinking that like, oh well, it's just gonna go bad, and having a fucking negative ass mindset, and like just thinking things like, oh well, this is how it's supposed to be. Everything's gonna be shit, and done. Like, you don't expect nothing otherwise. You don't deserve shit. It's just like being hard on yourself for no reason, and just like putting bad thoughts in your head, and then you realize, okay, well, you get up and go, and like you got to get up and go. You can't just sit around wondering why you're all fucking sitting while nothing's going on for you, motherfucker, because you're not doing it. So it's like I think that was my thing. Was the most quite literally emotional. Like I just was like I'm an emotional fucker. Like I'm like you think I'm chill? No, I'm like bipolar as fuck. So it's like there would be times where I would just you get overcome with emotions, maybe not a specific one, maybe a specific one, maybe multiple at a time. It's just like you gotta learn to be the master of your own. Like just get the fuck up, do what you need to do what you want to do, and then you're gonna experience hiccups and little things along the way. But it's life. I mean, you're gonna experience those shitty feelings because you didn't experience the shitty feelings. The good feelings wouldn't feel as good. It wouldn't feel like you accomplished something. So it's like I think just realizing that not being like just not being too emotional, or too hard on yourself. Just getting up and like doing what you want to do. At least for me, that was my
Being your
biggest
own
thing.
support.
Yeah, and not like just going like sad, like 'cause like I'm big on self-loathing. Like I always like I'm never like I don't talk shit like about other people. Like I wouldn't make it like, oh look at this fucking nerd with his fucking shoe. Like that wasn't me. If anything, I'm like saying shit about myself. So it's like that's why I try to learn. Like dude, like don't be so hard on yourself. Like just like you can if there's shit you don't like about yourself or you don't like the way you deal with certain things, well, only you can change it. So I mean, you just got to work a way around to see how you want to handle it versus how you were handling it before.
Just that there's different ways to get to the same place. Like even if it's not the way that you thought you were gonna get there, if you have to be your own support in order to like you have to figure it out. You have to push through all those obstacles and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely had that period of this was self-deprecating. You know, I can find a better word for it. But
So, I
that's a
think you're
perfect
looking
word
for
for it.
defecating. I think you should self-defecate yourself.
Uh, no, that's what people do when they're old and can't control their emotions.
Right.
Or young, or young.
Hold on.
Or young.
You want to talk? You want to talk
We
about that?
cannot yeah, when we're children, when we're babies, when we're fresh out the womb.
I was a pisser, not a shitter, but I mean,
You're not
Oh, well, you just didn't eat solid food at one point when you had a diaper.
I mean, I don't know when I started eating solid food.
He doesn't have an asshole.
That's right. I forget Kendall doesn't have one of those.
All right, no dick, no balls, no asshole. Okay, please put on radiation. You got it.
You look like the fucking mannequin from JCPenney or what?
Oh my god.
I fucking hate JCPenney and mannequins, but mostly JCPenney. That's a whole different conversation another time. But what was the point? What was I trying to say before all this bullshit happened? Oh yeah,
Just that
there
you
was
kind of do that self-loathing too.
yeah, I was gonna say that, bitch, but
All right.
Aggressive.
You're an angry person, right? People
He's
not
thinking about the mannequin that touched him at JCPenney.
no, it wasn't the mannequin, it was the god. but yeah, I definitely had the period. I was like, especially when I was like what 2020, 2020, 2021 was a lot bigger because the lockdowns happened. You know, what we gonna do? When you're bored, you eat. We eat a lot of food, and back then, there's a lot of food in the pantry. You know, if I was hungry, I eat like a chicken noodle, chicken noodle soup. I have a burger ordered from McDonald's here and there. I worked at a fucking fast food place. That didn't help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, and I think at a point in time, I looked myself in the mirror. I was like, damn, I'm a fat fuck, aren't I? And I was like,
I feel like we all do that. I feel like no matter what size anyone is, I feel like we all do that. Can we agree on that? Like, I feel like even like people that we see out in public, like probably more like girls and stuff too, but like average size people probably go home and do the exact same thing.
I think guys do it just as often, but we don't vocalize about it. We just look at ourselves and we're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then because we're a man and showing emotions, it means you're a bitch. So
you gotta put it in a bottle and throw it in the fucking ocean, son.
Yeah, beat
I guess
that's their emotions jack off.
Looks like we all grew up on that mindset, and that's one thing that.
Oh, the early 2000s definitely did that to all of us. Anyone born in the early 2000s has a body image issue. But like for me, like a lot of people, and I'm gonna say this the way I'm gonna say it, but a lot of people describe me as an average size person. And yeah, Ethan's over here like, yeah, you are. Like, shut the fuck up. But to me, like, an angel sees it every single day I wake up and I'm like, I am so big. I'm getting so big. I need to lose weight. I know. And Ethan's here shaking his head because, like, and a lot of people consider me an average size person. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we don't look the way that we look.
Yeah. I think other people's perception of us is. I think other people's perception of us is different. How we perceive ourselves. Like you think you're big. No, me and Ethan, that's big. We're big. We're big.
Y'all are not big though. Y'all are average built, physical.
He's average built. The one with the glasses.
You are. The guitarist. You want to point fingers, asshole.
No, but it definitely has something to do with the mind because I mean. You ever hear a recording of yourself talking, and you're just like,
Yeah, no, I hate it.
That seems to be a universal thing that I've seen everywhere. Even if you're a narcissist, you'll be like, you know, and it's an interesting thing to see because it's like everybody to some degree doesn't like their voice, or doesn't like the way they look, or doesn't like the way their life is turning around, but perspective seems to be the one thing that we all lack when it comes to that. Because, like me, there's a lot of things wrong with me. There's a lot of things with me where, okay, Kendall, I guess you're the wrong person to come to for help.
No, yeah, it's the last person.
But I could name a million things that's wrong with me, but someone across the street can see me and say, well, that guy's doing awesome in life.
He's doing great. Look at his stride. Look at him go.
Like you think you're like, you're too fat. You're like, you don't have enough money like that. While some guy on the other side of the street's like, damn, that guy that's perfect. He got his hair nice and done. He's wearing a nice suit and tie. He must mean something. He's probably He's probably walking around with a Ferrari right now.
Meanwhile, he hasn't shot in 3 days, so
It's like the way I think about it is you see the models, walking up and down whenever they're presenting clothes or shoes or whatever, but in their head they're like, God, my back is killing me,
Back is killing me.
I feel like that wasn't a great example, but.
And you see Miley Cyrus walking on the stage.
I think a better example would be that like size 0 models now will be like, oh my God, I'm so fat,
No, well, my example isn't weight. My example is we see them, and they're doing what they're supposed to, but in their head they're like...
We see them, and we think they look, really...
Unless you're blind.
And they're probably telling themselves the exact opposite. And the thing is like, and another hard part about that too is like, it's always changing. What society wants from everyone is always changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's... I feel like, I feel like every single time that, like, society gets used to being one way, because that's how everyone wants everyone to be, like, the second everyone gets used to that, it changes. And some influencer comes out with something else, or some billion-dollar person says that you need to be investing in this instead of that, and it's like, it's always changed. Like, I think the biggest takeaway here is that no one is ever happy with anything.
Nope. Nah.
Nobody is ever happy with anything, and like there's so many different examples and stuff that we could go into this, but I think the most important thing is like we have to learn how to be happy with
how to be happy with the stuff we have now.
Yeah, and what you're doing and stuff. I feel like we didn't hear from Angel. Angel, what was your 180?
My 180 was definitely trying to be surrounded by anyone and everyone. My 180 was, if I talk to you, you're my friend, we're cool, whatever, you're part of my group.
And then, tacos later.
Huh?
Having soft tacos later. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you're my friend now. Having soft tacos later. Got the rest
yeah, that's basically what it was. My coworkers, everybody was my friend. In high school, anybody who walked up to me was my friend. My peers in choir, they were my friends. Everybody was my friend, and I tried looking out for everybody because I thought they were my friends. And it got to the point where I wasn't looking out for myself, and I got into this deep, deep hole. And now I'm to the point where I am trying to look out for myself a little more. I'm still struggling, because I did that my whole life, 18 years of doing that. It's going to take a little longer than a year and a half to try to just... Mm-hmm. I'm getting there, that's my goal. My goal is definitely to focus more on myself, and I feel like a part of me always knew something was wrong.
No,
but I would I'd rather focus on,
especially as a kid. Like a person to come and say hey to me, and say hey back, like hey man, hey, we're friends now. You want to do something later, man? You want to go somewhere? And it's like I even there was a time where I was like, probably because my idea was like, the more friends you have, the less enemies you have, right? When your friend, less people will be talking shit to you. But turns out your friends will be enemies too. And many times I got stabbed in the back without me even, it's like came out of nowhere. Like I remember for one time, it was back in first kindergarten, around the dark ages. Me and these perceived buddies of mine, we were like walking somewhere, and I got hurt. We were jumping, doing parkour, because back then parkour was all the craze, and we were like vaulting over things. You were like jumping off of stuff. One time, I vaulted and jumped a bit too far. I jumped my final jump, and I hurt my ankle, right? And I expected, as friends should, to help me out. No, they sat there and laughed at me and walked away. I was like, but guys, you're my friends. You're supposed to help me out. I'm in pain here. Why would you leave me?
I could see like a little Kindle, like just like looking up, be like, but oh my god, you're pathetic.
But
you know what's funny is me and Kendall became friends non-verbally.
Yeah, all we did was just this. The entire time we see each other, just
just non-verbally became friends. We just, and some people can do that. Some people, because they're just built like that. You just kind of like, cool. And it lasts. You know, me and Kendall, we didn't talk a lot in high school.
Yeah.
But you knew, like, hey, I see that guy. You know, that's that guy.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I can't remember who it was.
What?
I can't remember who it was who started it. I can't remember if it was you. I can't remember if it was me. I just remember
both of us.
And actually, I think you were staring at me at one point, and I just kind of started staring back. Unless you were just staring at something behind me, like
most likely I sent some
zoned out, and then we're just staring at each other from across the room. And we're just kind of like,
and that motherfucker's pointing at me. He's pointing at me back. And then that's how it all started.
Great. I didn't go to school with any of y'all. Nope. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, which is weird to think about, like, because of how much our friendships and everything have like really grown and stuff. Like, and just we talk to each other like every single day. I didn't go to school with any of y'all, and I
met you from off of I met you and Ethan off of Isaiah.
Yeah. I think we all met each other kind of off of Isaiah, and just playing the game and stuff, which is weird because no one knows where that fucker is.
You know,
he could be dead, be alive. He could be butt fuck naked and fucking kankakee. I don't know.
Yeah, we have no idea where he is now. I mean, it's not that we're not friends with Isaiah. Like, obviously, we all still.
He just has a very weird life that you can't. He's just constantly like every day, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not going to get a response. So.
No.
Oh, he hasn't responded to at all.
No, he does. That's what I'm saying. He'll drop in. It's like a statement session. He just drops in. Yeah.
It's like your dad come back for the milk. Like, hey, son, I'm here for the milk.
But actually comes back like every 5 years to get 2%. You know, it's a whole fiasco.
Oh, 2%? Sagon.
Every year he drops by just to see if you've won the lottery or if you've made it big or something. It's just like,
hey, kid, you made it big? No? All right. I'll be back next year.
That's so fucked. But yeah, I mean, it's weird to think because like, Ethan, you didn't go to school with Kendall or Angel?
No.
Yes. Yeah, that's
cool. He wasn't cool enough to go to Duncanville.
Duncanville's not a cool high school.
Yeah, it was not a cool high school, no.
No, it was not. But I
have so many stories about Duncanville that...
So many stories. I feel like me and Kendall could make a whole video on just Duncanville alone.
Oh, yeah.
Were there any colleges or anything that y'all were wanting to go to that y'all didn't end up doing?
There was 3 of them throughout my middle school to high school life, and then end of COVID, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find a job.
Yeah.
A part of me still wants to go back to school. Part of it feels like I'm not built to go back to school, but if I end up finding the financial ability to do that, I probably should. You know?
I think I want to. I've always known what I want to do. You know, but I always, I painted this picture in my head really early on in high school that I was going to go straight into college after high school, and I was going to go to this university, and I was going to be a part of, you know, all of the fun stuff that people probably think about. And what's weird is, like, I ended up not doing that. I ended up doing community college before I ended up doing, you know what I mean? And that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like people at our age are so wide-eyed, you know? Like, we want so much more than we can chew. And when we realize how hard it is to actually accomplish certain things, like, that's whenever, like, I feel like we get discouraged. And I feel like we shouldn't be, because there's so many different ways to achieve certain stuff, and we really need to start, like, honing in on that idea. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this didn't work for, like, it's trial and error, you know? Like, I feel like we have the goal, and we look so far ahead at the goal that we're like, okay, we need to be focused on, like, the plan, though. Like, this is plan A, this is plan B, this is plan C. You know, and if you need to make,
like, you're looking so far into your goal, you're tripping over all the steps in the way.
Yeah, you know, and there are steps. There are a lot of steps, and so, like, I can think of so many things like that. Like, there were so many steps to buying, like, like my first car that I was like, this is the car that I want, and this is what I'm gonna do, and
Hopefully, no black
I
sedan
had
comes
to
in the way.
afford it, and I was like, never mind, I'm gonna be working for about a year and a half and doing 2 jobs and high school at the same time to afford the car that I want to afford. So I mean, like I feel like everyone at our age just is so focused on what they want and not working towards what they want. I feel like that's a big deal.
Yeah, like for me, so in middle school, I don't know why they did this to us. 7th grade, 8th grade, they wanted us to pick the colleges we wanted to go to,
In middle school,
and
I'd said that too, but
research these colleges. And as weird as it sounds, I think it was a good idea because a lot of people started looking at the colleges they wanted. Because me, I have family in California. I never see them. I've seen them one time in my life that I can remember. I love them. I wanted to be closer to that side of my family because I went to Mexico every year, so I'm close to that side of the family. Everybody here, I'm close to them. I wanted to be close to the side of the family that I rarely got to see, didn't really talk too much, learn a little bit about that. So I chose, I was like, I want to go to UCLA. And then I researched it, and I was like, you know what? I know myself well enough. I'm not up there, I'm not up to those standards. Could I have worked towards it? Yes.
did you want
Was
to?
I? No, because I thought it was such an, not necessarily an unrealistic expectation, but it was such a high expectation that I felt like if I failed at it, I would be just absolutely distraught. I wouldn't know what to do, and that's not what I wanted. So, I decided I was going to go to college somewhere here in Texas,
Yeah.
because if I failed, if I couldn't go out there, I was going to be bummed out. So I settled for here in Texas, and I started looking at colleges. Dallas Baptist was somewhere I was going to go.
that's horrible.
And then I saw some of the things you had to do just to go there. I was like, okay, that's not something I'm okay with.
Yeah.
So I ended up just saying, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to community college and figure it out from there. And I never went because halfway through school,
Just gave up. Not gave up,
I did.
but
I did.
Yeah.
I did give up because and I'm not blaming COVID, but I'm saying COVID did not make it easier for me to say,
I mean, it didn't
I'm gonna
make
get
it
through
for
it.
anybody.
Yeah, because I mean, and then that school also didn't make it easy either. High school didn't make it easy either. I was missing teachers every year. Did you have that problem too, Kendall? There was a missing teacher every year.
Oh yeah, we didn't have an engineering teacher for a good 2 years. We had Miss Crayola, what the fuck her name was. Then we had some other substitute teacher who didn't do anything. All we do is play Halo and CS:GO all day.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, our school did not make it easier on us. COVID didn't make it easier to say and work towards those things. It was easier to say, well, I'm just going to sit down and wait for the world to burn over, because that's what I felt like was going to happen.
California did.
California did, see what happens if I go to California. But
Yeah, and that's another good point, is so many hidden blessings in disguise. Like, if you had gone to college in California instead of staying here in Texas, like, you would have been, one, living with family, and then,
True.
in certain
wouldn't
family
have met us.
situations, you would have been stuck in certain family situations, and then you wouldn't be friends with any of us, and then you probably wouldn't have done half of the growth that you've done since then. We would like certain things like that is like, it's weird to think about, like, how one choice could probably alter everything,
Yeah.
but it
There's
happens.
that question. There was that question, like, if you would go back, like, be reborn again with all the knowledge I had now, like, a lot of people pick that, but a lot of things happening right now because of one small thing, forever, one small decision. Like, if you never made that decision, then you have a whole chain of events that could never would have occurred because you decided not to make that decision.
That's kind of like the whole point of every time travel movie too.
Yeah,
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, and if what your point was, what would you do if you could go back with all this knowledge? I wouldn't do anything, not to say that my life is perfect the way it is right now, But God knows where I would be right now if I changed any little detail. I could be worse off. I could have. I mean, say I have and it's really weird. I have a really vivid memory of me falling out of a shopping cart when I was like 4. What if I didn't fall out of that shopping cart?
I don't know where you're going with this.
I wouldn't. Those little details, where would we end up in life? If I hadn't fallen out of that shopping cart, would I
I feel
have
like
gone to
that's
a different
very
school?
Although I feel like we're talking.
It's
No,
But
Kat,
that's
I
the
get him
point.
too. Like,
That's the
I
point.
still, to this day, I still wonder if, like, what if I hadn't hit my head that many times as a kid? Like, one of the big things that shut the fuck up.
Would
one
probably
of the
all be better off.
I will stab you to death, woman. I'm saying that if a lot of the problems I have now, like mentally wise, stem from the fact I had a lot of head. The first one started off when I was like 5 years old. I was at a park, playing with friends. They were doing tag, running around, and all of a sudden I had full speed straight first into this metal pole. I get knocked out for a good couple of minutes. Next thing you know, I'm in a hospital. I got these tubes in me.
Nah, so your
I think
family's
I'm-
better than mine.
I think I'm mixing memories here, but yeah, so many injuries as a kid, so many like head injuries as a kid, all those other medical injuries, medical stuff as a kid. It was like, most of the head stuff I'm worried about because maybe if I didn't sustain some head injuries, maybe I could talk better. Maybe I could memorize stuff better. Maybe maybe we could be a completely different person.
That's so weird
Yeah,
you say
but-
that, because one of the things that like has been going on with me lately that's like a complete 180, and me and my mom, we were talking about this the other day, but like how healthy I was as a kid and all the sports that I did and how well I ate and all of those things like that, and now I'm sick, you know what I mean? And so it's like and I did not like, obviously, as much as I wanted to go to college and get my degree and be a doctor and all of these things, like, if I had known then that I was going to be sick now, there's no possible way I would have been able to do it. Like, I would not be, like, mentally, I would not be able to do both. And
Welcome back, Ethan.
it's weird to think that I would not be able to do both. Because if I tried to do both of those things at the same time, it would not have honed over well. I would be overwhelmed, and like there's no way for me to know that, obviously. But I think I'm one of those people that I genuinely believe, even if stuff doesn't go the way that you wanted it to, it is for a reason. Like
Every silver lining has a cloud. That's saying.
yes, there is a silver lining to every single little thing. And
Oh,
it's
that's
so
what it says?
weird. It's so weird to think about that, because like my mom was baffled the other day because she was like, I don't understand why you're sick. I don't understand where it's all coming from. She's like,
Mom, it's a machine genetics.
Yeah.
and because like I said, she was kind of a hard ass as a parent, but her biggest thing was like, I want you to eat right. And I was in all these sports and I was very physically healthy, and then for me to just out of the blue not be healthy anymore, that was like, it was a weird take, and it started to baffle her a little bit, and it's kind of baffling everyone else too. But like, just to think about, like, could you imagine if I was trying to work my way towards my doctor degree while not even being able to like wake up without being sick? You know what I mean?
You could diagnose yourself.
Huh?
You could diagnose yourself.
What kind of doctor, buddy?
Oh,
No, what he's saying is, since you already have all your knowledge for the future, you already have your diagnoses in hand. You're like, well, I have this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
yeah.
No, that's not.
What kind
Because
of doctor are you trying to be?
is like how it affects my day-to-day life. That's the problem, is how it affects my day-to-day life. And if it was affecting me daily, there's no way I would be able to wake up and work and do school all at the same time. Like, I mentally would not be able to do it. I mentally can't do basic tasks now, or physically sometimes can't do basic tasks, and I there's no way I was gonna be able to like be driving back and forth from university and stuff. But yeah, I feel like the takeaway here is nothing. Nobody likes anything that's going on in their life, but
Basically.
I mean,
it
I like my
has to
girlfriend.
happen. It like literally has to happen the way that it's happening, and you just have to kind of hold on. Like, it's not gonna make sense to you at all right now. It like, because oh my god, we could go on and on about like certain examples and stuff, but it's not gonna make sense at all about why. And so many times, like, you probably, I know I did, I was like, I don't even know why I'm even trying at this point, but it's so much better for the things to work out the way that they're going to work out. So if it's not a part of your plan, it's a part of a plan. You know, if you don't like the way stuff's going, you need to switch it up. You know, everything is an option except for giving up, because once you do that, you've actually lost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. Stay away from that bridge edge. You can do it. Or put the gun down. You got this, man.
That's it. We're taking away razors. We're taking away anything sharp and pointy.
Yep.
Y'all are so not funny.
We're taking away your guns. You're giving all to me. I'm taking your guns. I'm the ATF. I actually founded the ATF in my company, actually.
You want some medication? That's crazy. You're gonna have to thug it out.
Yep. So you want pills for your schizophrenia? Talk to them people. You won't get anyone else anyways.
You're not ODing on my watch. So, Kendall, I guess you're spinning the wheel.
Why me? Okay, fine. I'll spin the wheel. Here, let me. Shut up. I'm spinning the wheel.
Okay. Just do like
Okay,
a random wheel generator.
Wheel spin generator. Here we go. Wheel names.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay, let me share my screen real quick.
I thought that was the point.
Your point is you suck dick.
Okay, so the wheel is basically just going to tell us who's going to pick the topic for next time. Last time. That says angle.
Oh.
No way you spelled my name wrong on purpose.
I swear I didn't.
We're just going to see who's going to pick the topic for next time. And this basically means we have a week, because episodes come out every week. So whoever this lands on, you have a week to come up with a topic, and everyone else has a week to think about what they want to say about that topic.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Let's say new videos come out every
Wednesday is
Wednesday.
Wednesday is what we decided on for deadline for me to be done with.
Yeah. Wednesday, whatever time, Eastern Standard, whatever. Wednesday.
Day.
Yeah, I don't know about times and stuff, but it will be Wednesday.
Alright, so follow us on social medias. Kat will probably put it down below us.
Put them all in our separate little boxes and everything.
Yep. Subscribe to the channel. Channel on YouTube. Also the channel on Spotify. I'm not sure what's.
Yes, the podcast is on YouTube and it's on Spotify, and then I'll be linking all of our personal YouTube, Instagrams, all of that fun stuff on our individual stuff.
MySpace is, if I can find it.
We do not have MySpace.
I have a MySpace.
Why do you have a MySpace?
Because I made one by like 2008 and never deleted it.
Oh my god.
Follow us on Xbox Live and PSN Plus. Follow us.
Follow us on Reddit. Follow us on.
Go find me on Wii. Bust out the Wii.
Oh my
Go
god.
look me up.
Well, follow us in real life. Don't do that. I'll probably just kill you.
Are you gonna spin the wheel?
Yes, I was getting our outros done. God, all right, we're spinning the wheel in 3. Yes.
You still have to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel now.
Okay.
Swear to God.
When are you gonna spin the wheel? Ah, damn it! It would land on me.
Yep.
Angel picks the topic. Okay.
All right. So Angel be the next host.
Yes, Angel's gonna be the next host. We're not gonna announce the topic right now. That is, you're just gonna have to check out the next episode to see.
Which you should.
Which you should.
Or else, your grandma's dying of cancer, or want to save her, they have to watch our podcast. So
Oh my god.
It's a good one.
yeah. So if you want to save Graham from biting the dust, you can watch our podcast.
Okay.
So
Yep, guys, make sure you guys check out all of the links for all of the socials and everything. Make sure you're following the podcast on Spotify and on YouTube. Or both. Yeah, or both if you guys can. And I guess we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
I know you're creepy.